Hey guys, so today's live coloring. I've been doing this for a few days now and I've been having a lot of fun doing it. I'm still working out the kinks with the Instagram technology or lack thereof because Instagram likes to lose my lives when I try and save them. But you know, I'm going to work with it and see what happens because I'm just having fun doing this and I'm really having a good time talking to you guys and coloring while we talk. So today we're going to color on a green piece of cardstock. So I just thought this would be kind of a fun little upside down thing to do because these Neocolors. Hey, Katie, thanks for coming back. Katie's a new friend, guys. Katie's one of my new friends here. So, anyway, we're going to start out with some lighter colors on this green paper because this is pretty fun thing to do, to color with lighter colors on a darker paper. So I'm going to look through here. I did not pick my palette yet. If you guys are just joining me, my name is Kathy. I'm an artist and I design products, but I love to design coloring books. So I have a lot of coloring books and since this quarantine has started, I've been coloring a page every day for coloring therapy because coloring therapy is a real thing. Okay. And it's nice to just get out of your head and color, and it's like a meditation for me. And this is something I've been thinking about. This morning. I was thinking about how coloring has become a meditation for me. And, you know, and meditation is just getting out of your own head and not thinking about anything, right? So at least that's what it is to me. It's having the ability to just not think about, and like just to let yourself have a blank mind, which is not easy to do, right? It's not easy. So this is what coloring has given to me. It's kind of brought me back to not worrying about the outcome, not, doing client work, not doing work on a new product, not doing new concepts, not sketching for concept ideas, for mug ideas or for anything except for just zoning out and not thinking and getting into that moment where I'm just, what am I doing? I'm picking a lot of colors here. I'm not going to use all these. Getting into that headspace where I'm really not thinking. I'm just totally meditating on my colors that I'm picking and what colors, like just a totally organic, intuitive space. And that's really important right now. So that's what I've been doing. And I thought about this morning, I thought about how it is a meditation, but then I also thought that doing these lives is kind of, I don't want to say the opposite because it's not the opposite, but it's reaching out and it's connection with you guys. And as opposed to being in my own head, not talking and just coloring and thinking. And, it's funny because that in and of itself is another just as beneficial thing for me. So while I talk about coloring as being a meditation, and it is, what I'm doing here and chatting with you guys, and it's different. It's not the same. I'm not like hitting the same. I'm not hitting the same values. No pun intended. I know that these are colors, so values, right? Ha ha ha. But yeah, but it's giving me something, and hopefully you too, a connection with you over art. And that is a meditation in its own way, but it's not the same type, right? It's not the traditional stop thinking and do and don't worry about the outcome type of situation. So if that makes any sense, I hope it does. So let's start coloring. So let's pick our palette here. So I'm trying to look, because this is like a medium value, I'm looking for the lightest Caran D'ache Neocolor 2 pastels, or 1. These are 1 and 2s mixed up. I'm looking for the lightest colors that I have in my bucket, so I can sort of choose from there and figure out a good mix. So let's see what we got here. We have, okay, and also this is actually, let me see if I can grab another sheet of this green, because this is actually really a cool thing to think about, how different a color looks on a white piece of paper versus on let me grab a piece of paper here. Like the color, the value just changes so dramatically on a different color when you're drawing on a different color. I mean, look, that's not going to work for me, right? Because I don't think that this gray, which is sort of a mid-tone, light to mid-tone gray, excuse me, works on this green, but it does work really nicely on that white. So here's actually a green, and it's almost the same color, but let's see if that works. Well, that works pretty nicely as like a highlight or something, but it's so much brighter on the white, as we would suspect. Now this one is a chartreuse, and I have to say the Neocolor 2s are usually a little more opaque. They're a little more opaque than the Neocolor ones, just by and large. But this particular one, I'm not sure how opaque it's actually going to look. All right, a little bit. It's like maybe 50% or 60% opaque, something like that. So check this green. This green is practically the same color, but it's also a light green, and I thought that maybe it might work on this, and it does not. So we're going to get rid of that one. Here's a lighter green. So these lives, now that looks great. I love that. And that just is like a nice highlight on this paper, whereas on this one, that's pretty green. Okay, so what I've been doing with these lives is the first time I went really long, and I'm going to try and keep this to an hour, because I don't think lives are really made for anything over an hour. I mean, they say it only runs for an hour, but it's just not a good idea. I've been learning from doing. It's not a good idea to do like another one back to back. Katie, yes, I do use Procreate, and I do digital illustrations. All of my coloring drawings are done on the computer or on my iPad. I've been doing them on my iPad, which I've had my iPad Pro for a year. I bought it like last March, and I love that thing. And actually, who did I learn from? I want to tell you guys where I learned how to use Procreate on the iPad. I took some classes on Skillshare, and let me actually write a note to make a note to myself to classes. So I used Stephanie Pfizer Coleman's class, but there was a couple of other classes. Brooke is the name. Brooke Glazier, I think. I'm gonna find out. I'm just writing down here. I'm gonna tell you tomorrow. I just want to make sure I get the names right. You know what I mean? I don't want to give you guys information that is wrong. So I'm just writing down who I'll tell you tomorrow. Uh-oh, that means I'm doing this tomorrow too. I think that means I'm committing a little bit here to this. Okay, so our palette so far, and as I said before, I'm keeping this to an hour, so I really better hurry up and pick my palette, right? So it looks to me like the best colors for this particular paper are going to be blues and greens, because I'm not liking the play of the yellows, the oranges, and I'm just not a fan of it not showing up quite as much. The yellow's okay. This yellow is a little funky for me. And I mean, this can be good as an accent, but I'm not sure that I'm going to like that for, you know, for a main color. Did I already pick this one? Hold on. I'm going to pick this palette pretty quickly now because time is running. I think we started 10 minutes ago, and I really want to get the ball rolling on this because I want to start coloring this so we finish it, or at least get as far as we can. I'm not going to use any oranges, and I like this one. This one's good. I'm not super crazy about this yellow either, so I'm going to dump that one. Is this the same? Yeah, that's the same color. Let's try this one. We use this. Nope, that does not work. So see, it's really funny how different colors look so different on different papers. Or different, they look different against different colors. Like this color looks pretty different than that color. That looks green to me. That, I'm not sure what that is. That looks brownish. That looks like a brownish green to me. But I'm also, look at that. That looks okay. That looks a little gray, but let's keep that. And I'm going to hurry up and do this because I want to get this going. All right, let me do this. I'm going to turn this, and now we're going to, I think I'm going to get rid of any pinks and yellows. I don't think are going to work for me for this. So let's see what we got here. So we can finally just get going on this because I want to start coloring. That was that. Yeah, that's that. No purple. This one was okay, kind of a gold. I don't know. This, I like that. Sorry, I'm bouncing a little bit here. Yellow, no. Green, I like this green. This is a good green. And let's see about this. I don't like how that works with the other colors, but I will, I have my hand in here. I'm finding that it looks like some of these darker ones might work well. I just don't want anything to compete with the black line of the artwork. So I think we're gonna figure that out when I go into the coloring. I'm gonna have to see if these work, but I'm gonna grab a white crayon too. So, okay, good. So that's good. That one works. And I think this is actually the same. This might be the same as this. Anyway, I'll look later, but it looks like it's the same. So I'm just gonna think it's the same. And no, I'm not gonna look later. What am I talking about? I don't need to look later. It looks like that's the same crayon. I have a few dupes in here. I wish I had every single Neocolor color available, but I don't think I do. This is a Neocolor 1, which is white. So Neocolors come in 1 and 2. The 1 is not water soluble. The 2 is water soluble. And before I go forward, I will just want to make an announcement. You can get free coloring pages here at bit.ly/courageouspages. That's my free coloring pages. And the one I'm working on today is on this page, so you can download this one. I was just talking to a friend of mine, Tara Reed, and she was telling me that she had some coloring pages that she had just put up. So, excuse me, guys. Oh, excuse me. And my phone actually is right where my voice is, if you can you hear me? Because that's where my phone is, above my head. So if I'm heavy breathing, I apologize if you're hearing every little breath in my voice. So tarareed.com/color-yourself-happy. And you can grab some of her free coloring pages too. And then every day I'm posting my daily color therapy, which is this, to my daily coloring therapy. So when I'm done with this, I will post it to my feed, and I will post it with this hashtag. And if you want, you can go and see all of my coloring pages that I've done on this project there. I already showed you that. And lastly, if you want to check out my coloring books on Amazon, you can go to bit.ly, Kathy Color, all lowercase, and that'll take you there. So let's start. I'm going to take my tray, dump these out and get this all ready for me here. So I have my palette that I'm working with here. And let's get going here. So how do I want to approach this today? Not really. Oh, thanks, Katie. I was just reading Katie's note that she sent. I'm going to use this one too. And see, look, I'm gravitating now. Now I'm gravitating towards like my faves. I'm also going to use this one. I am a huge teal, like this color. When I was a kid, seafoam green, was it seafoam green in the Crayola box? Is that what it's called? That was my absolute favorite color. And that was the crayon that I killed. Like that crayon was, you know, that was the crayon that I finished before any other crayon. And then for a iced coffee, then for a really long time, I did not like that color at all. It was almost like, you know, when you eat too much of a certain food, like when I was a kid, I ate too many marshmallows and then I just couldn't have marshmallows for a really long time. Yeah, so it was like that, but it was a color. Bye, Katie. See you next time. Thanks for popping in. Love to see you. Thankful you're here. Thankful you came. So I'm going to do my method this time where I color code my letters, sort of, or portions of my coloring, so I can make decisions early on and keep things more cohesive that way, as opposed to another way I like to work, which is just flying by the seat of my pants. But right now, today, this is what I'm going to do, because I feel like this might be really effective, especially given the fact that this is kind of unusual with all these colors being, with the green color background being kind of a different thing for me right now. And I'm having fun with it, but I do want to make something that I like, you know what I mean? So, as I was saying, seafoam green was this color that I loved when I was a kid, and I had my Crayola coloring box, and I used that color before every other color. I always ran out of it first, and I think I'm going to do a white background here, and then I'm going to be able to do some shading and stuff. If I work with a little bit of a lighter hand, then I will still have some paper fibers left that are not filled in around the letters that I can use for shading. So back to my story. So I did, let me move my page over here. I'm watching myself in an iPad over there so I can make sure that I'm, you know, on screen and everything. So when I was a kid, I loved seafoam green. I've said that 5 million times so far. And then for a really long time, as a grown-up, couldn't stand that color. And then something really weird happened. I started loving it again a few years ago, I think. Very strange how that happens and how that happened, but it did. So I'm happy to say I love it, and I use it a lot, especially in my coloring, because these are really great colors. Oh my gosh, look at that. So this is Jade, and you'll see me use this. This is going to be on here. And then this one is darker. It's, what is this? Verdinese green. So you can get these at any art store. They're made by Caran D'ache. I talk about them all the time because I love them. I think next time I want to color with Tombow dual brush pens, which I also love, but these are just sort of really good on darker surfaces. I also really like them because you can't get too detailed with them, which I think, especially like when I'm coloring, I mean, it depends, because coloring is a meditation and you can meditate with it in a lot of different ways, right? You can meditate on the details and on the shading and on the, You know, all those little fine details that you do when you are using colored pencil, for instance. But when you are using this, you really can't get that detail, and that's good because I think it's a nice challenge, and it forces me to not get tied up in those little details that sometimes, like, maybe I just need to think a little broader, a little looser, you know, and work on that. And I like these so much for that, because they are like drawing with a stick. No, they're like drawing with a crayon. And sometimes that is really nice. I have other pastel color stick type things that I sometimes color with, and I'm going to show you them right now. So, okay, so I wasn't planning on using these today. Maybe I'll use a couple of them, I'm not sure, but I have these Gelatos by Faber Castell. These are also water soluble, and they're also like a pastel. And then I also have these, and these are, let me get a lighter one so you can see, Marabu Art Crayon. These are mixed media, for mixed media, so they are also water soluble. These are still my favorite. They're still my favorite, guys. I still love these the best. And the Caran D'ache have two varieties. One is water soluble, one is not. And this one, this white crayon, is the non-water soluble. And you can really see the difference if you... I have a 2 somewhere in my bucket here, but I'll put my bucket closer so you can kind of see. But I don't have it handy, and I'm not going to dig through to get it out right now, but it's a little creamier. This is a little more waxy. And they both have similar opacity, so you're getting the same on that. And you can use them together, like I do, but the 2s are water soluble and the 1s are not. And so you're not gonna, when you put the 1 down, it's gonna stay where you put it. When you put the 2 down, if you were to use some water over that, you could do some wash action with that. And I don't usually use them that way. I don't find the pigmentation of them to be highly pigmented enough to use as like another type of a paint situation, but they can be really fun if you want to use that as sort of like an accent, like a wash into another color. It's just like another element, another way to use it. It's just like another you know, it's another benefit, a way that you can use it, because they are water soluble. So it's like a plus, but it's not like something that, it's not something that I go to them for, you know what I mean? So, but they're great. Hey Meg, Artistica Meg. Nice to meet ya. Hey Paula SV065. Nice to meet you too. So my name is Kathy. I'm an artist and I am coloring a coloring page, and every day I color a page for therapy these days because things are pretty stressful, and I am an illustrator, artist, and I design and draw coloring books and coloring pages, and I post them every day. I color one in every day. And I have a place where you can get free coloring pages. I put up this website, this web page, sorry, on my Courageous Coloring. Courageous Coloring is my coloring books. Let's see if I can Yes, I'm so organized today. I really planned this out well, didn't I? Next time I need to have a stack of my coloring books so I can show you. But here's one of them, Self-Reliance. And yes, so you can go here and you can get some free coloring pages for yourself and your family, and you guys can color together. And I like coloring because, for many reasons, but I will say that it's a nice creative activity that is not demanding. You can make it as demanding or as non-demanding as you want. And you can do it solo. You don't have to do it with anybody else. So that's a really cool thing, especially in this moment of time that we have all found ourselves in, where, you know, we need to be by ourselves. Or just with our small group of other quarantine people. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So right now, I just made a mistake. I am coloring in all these little nooks and crannies in the word friends, and in all of my words. I'm just going to do different colors of blue and green, similar value or similar tone in these. And then we're going to see where that takes us after that. And as you can see, when I'm doing this, I really can't get too... It actually kind of teaches you a little bit of proprioception, I guess I can say, for coloring, as opposed to physical therapy. For your coloring, like knowing where something is when you can't see it. So I can't really see where the tip is, but I am guessing where the tip is. I'm guessing where I put it down because it's so blunt. I can't pinpoint exactly where I did it. So it's sort of working with this type of a tool gives you training in that way too, which is kind of cool. You know, it's kind of cool to have that be a skill that you're a little bit sharper at, because I don't really hear people talking about that as a skill, but I think that's a good skill to have with art tools. So yeah, that's that. So I had some really weird dreams last night, and I guess that is par for the course. I don't think that... Oh, thanks, Duke Creek. I just read the message. I have my iPad over here, and I'm trying to keep up with any messages, so thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy those pages. I want to share another free coloring page with you, too. I was talking to my friend Tara Reed today. She's an artist, and she made a page of free coloring pages as well. And that's at tarareed.com/color-yourself-happy. So definitely go to her website there and check out her coloring pages too. And it's fun too because her style is much different than mine. So you can have a nice variety of different designs to color. And a lot of artists are offering free coloring. I think I saw Boy Girl Party, if you guys know her. Susie Garamani, artist. Love her work. She's been doing, I've seen, I don't know like in the past couple days or not if she's done it, but she had been offering free coloring pages on Instagram. And I thought that was really cool. And I knew that I wanted to do it, but I didn't know like how I wanted to do it. Like I didn't know. Hey, Patrice. Hey, C. Warwick. How you guys doing? Oh, Siri thought that I was just talking to her. Okay. Goodbye, Siri. Go away. So she's been doing free coloring pages too. And I knew when this pandemic happened, I'm like, I got to get some free coloring pages up because you guys need something to do. You know, we all need something to do it's stress relieving, it's relaxing, and or as relaxing as you want to make it. I mean, some people feel like puzzles are relaxing, and I love puzzles. And I've designed some puzzles, and I love doing puzzles, but see, my puzzles are kind of intense. They're a bit detailed is one word you could use for them. Insane is another one you can use. I have a couple puzzles that are pretty difficult, and I need to indulge in an easier puzzle because it's all what you want it to be, right? So these activities, these creative activities that use different parts of our brain, like you can choose what your goal is for that, you know? Do I want to just relax and zone out? Do I not want to feel challenged? I want to just sort of make my own rules and, you know, have a relaxing time and not get too deep into it? Or do I want to lose myself in it and, you know, lose sleep over it? Like you might if you were doing like a seriously detailed puzzle or a seriously detailed coloring page. So ever since I've been doing coloring books, and actually especially with the last 2 coloring books that I've done, I did a set, Self-Reliance and Self-Guidance. So I'll just show you the page real quick. So there they are. And I noticed when I was doing those that, like, I always try to mix it up. So I always try to do some pages are more detailed and some pages are less detailed. And that's been a good sort of rule of thumb. Now, I tend to get really into my own detail level. Like I really start getting into doing more detail. I find that this is something that I need to sort of rein in because it's like I guess I like to challenge myself in that way. And I don't think it's always what I found after doing several coloring books. And I always try to aim the level of detail and like the disbursement of the detail to non-detailed pages to the audience of the book. I found that my books in general have been getting more and more detailed, and I don't necessarily think that's like a great thing. Like it's fine. I've never gone over the edge except for one time. I think I went over the edge a little bit with, it might be on this, in this book. No. Nope. I think it's not in this one. I think it's in a different one. One of my, oh, here it is. I'm going to show you. Let me show this to you. Okay. So don't get me wrong. I love my books. This is the page I did yesterday. I love my books. I love all the art in my books, but I will share with you this. This is one of the quotes that I loved so much from when I was a kid. This is like a really important quote to me. It's never too late to have a happy childhood. And I love this page, but this is like a good, this is a good example of a limited coloring page because it is highly detailed and I could color this. I'm actually going to probably challenge myself to color this with these. And what I will do is I'm going to use like a whole area and then I'll do gradients or something instead of doing in between the lines of all these little things. But when you have faced with a page like this, it's exciting to some people. And then some people see this as like a challenge they don't want to get into, right? And you also look at a page like this and you're thinking, what could I color that with that I would, in a way that I feel comfortable coloring, right? So I would use markers with a really fine tip. Like I could use Tombow dual brush pens and just use like the tip. Or I could use, and this is just an example of what might be going through people's head. I mean, you can color this however the heck you want to color it. You know, like as I said, maybe I'll go in and challenge myself and color this page with something chunky like this. and we'll see where that takes us. But at some point, not today. We're working on this page. But colored pencil with a sharp tip, and then you'd have a lot of like interior gradation and stuff if you were going to go that route. So yeah, so it's like something like this is a lot more thought involved, or it might be more intimidating than something like that. So when I did that happy childhood page, that was sort of a point when I thought, okay, maybe I need to rein it in a little bit, because maybe, maybe that's a little detailed, a little on the detailed side. So, which, I love detail, but I looked at that and it sort of made me think, okay, that's awesome in a Joanna Basford book. And, those people will like a page like that. Highly detailed, there's all those little cells are closed. So it will be really fun for some people to color. But I do think that given the context of my books and given the themes of my books, maybe a little detailed for the purpose of my books, which is, stress relief, self-therapy, positivity, just positive mental encouragement and stuff like that. So I don't want to be throwing, too much detail in a page. So I think in the future, and I also had a conversation with somebody who enjoys my work, and she told me that she was more interested in the lesser detailed pages. I think there's always going to be, it's always nice to have a variety. I like to give people a variety. So that is my goal. But I think on the more detailed scale, I think it's nice to, not get super overwhelming on I'm just trying to see how this is going to play out on top of or with another one of these mid-tone colors. Okay. Yeah, so that's that story. That is the scoop on the detail and coloring pages. So let me put this over here too. So for anybody popping on, if you want some free coloring pages, you can go here to bit.ly/courageous pages. So I've been having some ups and downs with IG Live. Like yesterday's live did not save when I hit the save button at the end of it. And so whether or not you'll see this one in my IGTV later remains to be seen. But either way, you're here with me now. And this will be up for 24 hours, but we'll see. I mean, I'm sort of trying to figure out how that's going to work for me if I continue to do live coloring with Kathy hours. So, but I like the hour format. I think an hour works out good. Yes, sorry about that, Duke Creek. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. So in a way, it's kind of like I was saying earlier, it's kind of like a meditation to sit here and chat with you guys while I'm doing this, because it's kind of like I think that coloring is a meditation, especially when you're quiet and you're just totally zoned in on your artwork and you're not, having a conversation or anything. But this is a different type of meditation because now I'm doing several things at once. I'm talking with you. I'm coloring this page and making those decisions as best I can. And I am trying to make sure that my coloring page is within the screen. So, hey Matthew Mead, how are you? I'm coloring a coloring page. Every day I have been coloring a page and using the hashtag #MyDailyColoringTherapy, which is right here. So, and I've been posting them to my feed. Then I started making videos, speed drawing videos of them and posting those to my IGTV. And then that was fun. And then I thought, maybe I should try doing a live because that might be fun to do. So then I started doing lives and, Suri thinks I'm talking to her and I'm not. There we go. So then I started doing lives and this has been really fun. I've had some technical hiccups for sure. I don't really know. I'm still figuring out how lives are fully meant to be used because they're not the same as, for instance, a YouTube live. I don't think they're really made to be for longer than an hour because I've done longer than an hour IG lives and I have lost footage from doing things that way, like back-to-back hours. I've lost footage and that's frustrating because I wanted to save it and put it on IGTV for later. So I'm still doing the IG lives. So now I'm just sort of pivoting and figuring out how to make it work because I am enjoying it a lot. And I do have a YouTube channel and I do put videos on YouTube. Usually my videos on YouTube they're help for artists, support for artists like me, independent artists who are selling their stuff independently and perhaps use print-on-demand companies, which I use. And a lot of my videos on YouTube are about print-on-demand and the different companies and showing the different products and talking about conversation about, also conversation about just being an independent artist and what that means and how to navigate that, but also about, more specifically, we have Etsy videos. There's a couple videos with Shopify. There's information on print-on-demand companies like Printful, and then I look at the products and talk about them. So if any of that interests you, please do check out my YouTube channel. It's Kathy Weller Art on YouTube. So please do check that out. I also have a couple coloring videos on there, but it's mostly support for artists selling their art and just like advice and stuff. I love making YouTube videos, but for some reason I haven't done a YouTube live. Instagram's kind of a home base for me in a weird way. It's like my home base social media, so I don't know, I guess I feel more comfortable experimenting here, which is, I don't know why. I just do. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's totally intuitive, It's just why. Why do you feel that way? I don't know. I just do. I'm just, more, what am I doing here? Look at this. So this color is pretty... I thought I would use that for some, like a little, I don't know what's going on there. Okay. All right. Let's see here. I think we have a color in the bucket that is actually super, super similar to the color of this page. But you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to bother with that right now. I'm going to just continue and we'll work that out later. We'll work out that little mistakes I made later. Figure that out. So I have been trying to keep these now to an hour. So it is now 4:15. So I have 15 minutes left. I gotta rush. Hey, so if I don't finish coloring this during this live, which I feel like I probably won't finish coloring it on this live, I am going to, let's do that. I'm going to post it on my feed later, so you will be able to see the finished product then. So I just got off the Skype with a friend of mine, and we had a good long conversation, and that was really fun. And I encourage you guys to be doing some video chats with your friends and family. My family, I'm generally still on, we text like a lot. So text is sort of the general. Oh, hey, Dew Creek. Yeah, here we go. It's bit.ly.courageouspages. So bit.ly//courageous pages. And I have my coloring books on Instagram. It's a different account. It's Courageous Coloring. So you can check that out too. I started to quote unquote merge accounts by pointing people over here. And I've been doing that for months now. And I don't post a lot on that page, but who knows? Maybe I've kind of decided, or not decided, but I've kind of thought that maybe I should revive it a little bit more because I've been doing so much coloring lately, and it's a lot of good content for that group that are following me over there. But I'm still trying to drive people over here because I would really like to keep everything a little more consolidated if possible. But it's challenging when you start out with when you have a lot of different accounts. It can kind of bite you in the butt a little bit sometimes. You know what I mean? So here's a good example of just intuitive coloring. I did not start out expecting that I would color the background at all, but yet here I am coloring the background. And I like it. I think I'm going to do like a gradient though. I think I'm going to do, no, too dark. This one's better. The tone of this one is closer to the tone of the page. So that'll work out. This works good. So I did not come today with a story. I've been telling stories on lives, and I did not come with a story today. But my plan is to have topics that I discuss, because it's really fun to sit here and talk about topics with you that I already have hammered out, but I didn't have any topics hammered out today. But I still wanted to hop on and do my coloring and color with you guys. So I think I really am enjoying this gradient situation here a lot. I think this is sort of making this page really pop for me. So I really am liking it. I'm going to move my light over a little bit more like that. Maybe that helps a little bit with the lighting. There we go. Okay. Let's keep going here. All right, it's 4:21. So we'll color together until 4:28, and then I think I'm going to have to hang it up then because I don't want Instagram to decide to eat my footage, which is what it did yesterday. I'm not sure why it did that, but I'm still working out the kinks. I'm still learning how to work within the Instagram Live kinks that it has. Actually, I think we did pretty good today because I'm almost done with this page. And I usually need longer, especially when I'm, talking through a page. It's not that, it's a different experience, I should say, and it takes me longer to finish a page when I am talking through it, as you can probably understand. So again, I'm using Caran D'ache Neocolor 2, which are one of my go-tos. I love them. They are, okay, now I'm shading the letters here. These are wax pastels. They're kind of like grown-up crayons. Like they're very much like crayons, but they're not, because there's way more pigment in them and they're creamier than crayons. So, but they're not so creamy that they're gonna just come off on your hands, unless it's like a 85-degree day and you're and you're coloring outside or something. So I do sometimes do this though. Sometimes I will hold some in my hand while I'm coloring, and then by the time I want to use one of these, they'll be a little bit warmed up with the heat of my hand, and they get a little more, they're a little creamier to use that way. But it's not at all necessary to do that, obviously. That's just a little, that's a little helpful hint, I guess. If you like a creamy crayon, just hold it in your hand, and there you go. All right, you guys, so I think we're good here. I think we did a page in an hour. Oh my God, that's amazing. I think we're doing this. So I'm going to post this to my feed later, and I hope to see you tomorrow. I would like to come back at the same time every day. I've been coming at 3:30. And I guess that's a good time for me. I'd kind of like to try for a little earlier, but 3:30 seems to be working out pretty well. So I guess we can stick with that for now. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. You can get some free coloring pages there. And here's my hashtag, my daily coloring therapy. Definitely check out the pages I've been coloring with that. So thank you guys for coming, and I will see you tomorrow, I hope. All right, take care. Bye.